Hello, this is Shar from the Real Kitchen for Real People, and I hope and trust that everyone is doing well on this beautiful day. Today we're going to feature Mama Pearl's old-fashioned fried cabbage, and this is one of my relatives, an elder relative, and this is her spin on fried cabbage, which is very simple and it's easy and it's most of all delicious. And what you use in this recipe, since it's only a small group here, I just cut here um, a half of a small cabbage, and you wash it. I cut it first in strips, and then I wash it. So be sure to wash it. And then we have a fourth cup of butter. And I've cut a fourth of onion, and I'm going to chop it. And a half of yellow squash. And then I have little strips of bell pepper, the green and the orange. And the orange is just to give it a little color too, so it won't be so pale. But this is the ingredients you use for Mama Pearl's fried cabbage. So first of all, like I said, cut your cabbage and wash it, and then set it in a pan, kind of spread it around like that. Okay. Okay, now we're going to set that aside, and I'm going to cut my squash, and I'm going to cut it fairly thin, about like that. About like that. So we finished cutting this squash, and it just gives it a different taste. It's really good, and I thought it was really different than most cabbage you see, recipes you see. So with her permission, I'm going to attempt to make Mama Pearl's fried cabbage. Okay, that's about how thick you want them. Okay, then you want, set that aside. Then you want to cut up your bell peppers in just little strips. You know, just thin strips like that. And then you can cut them again crossways. And then they'll end up like that. Okay, push those aside. Do your green one like the same way. Cut it in slices. Thin slices, not chunky. And be careful when you're using any kitchen tools not to cut your hand. And then you cut these across as well, so you have it like that. So that's going to go into the squash. Okay, and this is you preparing this stuff, cutting it up so it'll be ready when you get ready to put your cabbage in the skillet. And you'll need a skillet, either large. If you're going to use the whole cabbage, that's fine. You'll need a larger skillet than what I'm using, because I'm just using a small skillet because it's just 2 people I'm fixing it for. And you slice your onion the same way. Just slice it thin. Okay. And there's your ingredients that you will be using in your cabbage. And like I said, if you want to use a whole cabbage, that's fine, and you just kind of eyeball these. You just make, maybe you cut up the whole squash or a little bit more onion and bell pepper. But for right now, this is what I'm going to use for serving 2 people. So now I'm going to go over here and get my skillet ready. Okay, I'm going to turn on my skillet on medium, and I'm going to put my butter in there and let it melt. And then I'm going to add my onions in here, because I want those to, that heat to stimulate that flavor. Okay. Let me add the onions. Add those onions in there. And I like to add the onions while the butter is melting, because it just stimulates that flavor throughout your cabbage once you add your cabbage in there. Okay. And then you just toss that around. Toss that around in your butter. So this is what we're going to have today, along with the tri-tip that was on the previous video that my grill master had demonstrated. So we're gonna take one of those tri-tips out of the freezer and pop it in the oven, and we're gonna have this delicious fried cabbage along with it. Okay, you can see how it's bubbling. Okay, now I want to add, you don't have to add any water because your cabbage already has water in it. So you do not want to add water to your cabbage. So I'm going to take, and sometimes you can go through and see little bad spots on your cabbage. Just toss them aside. When you, after you cut it, you know, those little hard pieces like that. You know, I just toss those aside. Okay, so I'm going to put this cabbage in here. Put that in there. And it's going to be tall over your pan probably, but it will cook down. So if you see little hard spots you don't want in there, like I don't like those little hard pieces, so I'll take them out. And this is a simple, like I said, it's a very simple recipe. You add that into the butter mixture. And then what I'm going to do is add my salt and pepper. Add your salt and pepper. A little kosher salt. And as this cooks and it's ready to serve, you can add your pepper and salt according to your taste bud. Okay. Well, now that that's cooking in there, you can hear it, and it smells wonderful when you're cooking it. Okay. And then you're gonna add your bell peppers on top of that. And that'll steam that all the way through. Now sometimes I add a piece of a jalapeno pepper if you want a little fire to it. Make it a little hot or spicy. So you add your bell peppers in there and kind of punch them down in there. And then I'm going to add my squash on top. And after I add the squash on the top, I'll cover it and bring it to a high heat. You'll notice when it starts shrinking. Okay, shrink that, push that all down there. And then I'm going to cover it, and I'll come back in about 5 minutes to check on it. So cover it up, and that's on medium heat. And I'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to come back and check on it. And I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit. And then I reduce my heat to a medium low. Just toss it around a little bit. Move those vegetables around. And then you put the top back on it and come back in about 10 minutes. Okay, I've come back, and as you can see, the cabbage is cooked down. Now, I don't like mine real mushy, so I like my cabbage kind of crunchy, so I don't want to overcook it. So at this point, I am going to turn my fire off, and then I'll take about a pinch of sugar, just a little bit, just to even out your salt intake here. And just kind of spoon through it, move it around. And then you can also, if you desire, to add a little vinegar to it, but right now I'm not going to add it. I'm just going to keep it simple. But you can get creative with your cabbage when you're fixing it like this. I've had it with sausage links cut in small slices in it. It's really tasty. But today we're just going to have it just like I showed you. This is Mama Pearl's fried cabbage. And it is wonderful. So if you like this recipe, go ahead and make it. And let me know how it comes out. And let me know what you added to your cabbage masterpiece, because I always like to use a recipe the first time, and then the second time I make it, I like to try to put my own spin on it. But this is our vegetable side for today, and as I said, we're going to have it along with the tri-tip that my husband made in the prior video. And the link, I'll put the link below for the smoked meat. And I'm going to also have cornbread, of course. And so I'll put the link to the video for the cornbread as well, along with the recipe of this delicious fried cabbage. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. And please do so. Let me know by commenting below whether you like it or not, or if there's something else you would like to see me demonstrate, or just let me know what you think. And also share it with some neighbors and friends. Once you make it, I know you're going to want to share it. And subscribe. That's very important for the channel so I can continue showing you recipes from the old school. So these are all old school recipes that were handed down to me. So that's why I'm sharing them with you, to keep the legacy going. So without further ado, have a wonderful, blessed day, and I'll talk to you later. Love, love.